Do you want to impress your visitors with a sleek, mobile-friendly image gallery on your Divi website, but you're tired of expensive plugins and trying to code them yourself? In this video, I will show you how to create a thumbnail gallery that costs absolutely nothing. You don't need to install or purchase any plugins. You don't need to figure out the code for yourself, and this is so simple to do. All you need is Divi and my copy-paste code. You'll have a beautiful gallery live in a few minutes. Hey there guys, welcome to this new video. I think it's my first video of the year, and I'm sorry I haven't been posting often. I've just been quite hectic with projects, but I suppose that's a good thing. So first of all, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I received an email from, I think it's a subscriber, who had watched this video I made about a year ago, and it was this thumbnail gallery where you click on the thumbnails and it changes this big image here. But what he asked me was, how does he put arrows on the side over here? So I thought, because the last videos I did was the sliders, I went over to SwiperJS, and they do have a thumbnail gallery here, which is this over here. So if you click on it, you'll see that the thumbnails change, and then you can use the arrows. What's nice, it's actually, I think there's 12 images in here, and as you get to the fourth, it moves into the next thumbnail set of thumbnails. So I thought, let me try build this in Divi. And basically, if I come over to the one I've already built, you'll see I have something like this. And if you click on the arrows, it then goes through the thumbnails. And then you can also click on the thumbnails. And this is also draggable, so you can drag it as well. So I just want to thank Edgar's for sending me the email and giving me the suggestion. It at least helps me with the content I need to create. And if you guys want some video tutorial, but specifically for Divi, please pop me an email or drop a comment in the comment section, and I will try to get to it as soon as I can. So for those of you who don't know, the last 4 or 5 videos I did had to do with JSwipe, and we were making sliders for WooCommerce products, for blogs, for I think we did image galleries, and there was another one I can't remember now. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, I'll leave a card to the playlist, which should pop up around about now. So the first thing we need to do, you'll need to log into your WordPress dashboard. Now, I've already got the plugin installed, but I'm just going to start from scratch. And for those of you who have watched the other videos on SwiperJS, this might be a bit boring for you. So I'll leave a timestamp in the bottom, just so you can skip through this part. I'm just going to show those who haven't watched those videos how to install the header footer code manager plugin and how to add the scripts for SwiperJS. And just for those of you who did watch those videos, I just want to mention that SwiperJS has released a later version. If you look at the code we used last time, that was version 10. They're now on version 11. So maybe just watch this, just so you can paste the scripts into the HFCM plugin. But for those of you who haven't watched those other videos, I'll start from the beginning. So what you want to do is come over to plugins, and you want to click add new plugin. Then just in the search bar here, you're going to type in HFCM. And it will be this header footer code manager. Mine's already active because I have it installed over here. So you will just click install and then activate it for those of you who don't have it. Once a plugin is installed and activated, you'll have this menu item, HFCM. And the first thing we want to do, we want to add a new snippet. So let's hover over it and click add new. So the first thing we need to do, we need to give the snippets a name. Now I'm just going to show you what we're going to do in this snippet. So we are going to paste our CSS as well as our JavaScript in here. And I'll explain to you why we're going to use this plugin to do it in a bit. So what I've done is, in the description, you'll find a link to a Codepen, and that link will bring you to this Codepen. And we're first going to deal with this HTML block here. We need to copy this first script, the link to the style sheet. So this is the link to the SwiperJS style sheet. And for those of you who watch my previous videos, you'll see that yours would probably be Swiper at 10. You'll see now it's gone to version 11. So maybe just come here and copy this and just override the ones we've already pasted in there. So let's copy this. Let's go back to the snippets plugin. We need to give this snippets a name. So I'm going to name this SwiperJS, then CSS CDN. So you can, it doesn't matter what you name this. I'm just naming it that. You can copy me if you want to. The snippet type is going to be HTML, so you can leave it as is. The site display. Now, this is why I like to use this plugin. We all hear about how scripts and that slow our site down. So what's nice about this plugin, we can actually stipulate which page we just want this code to show on, so it doesn't show on all our pages. Because what we could do is we could go paste this in our Divi theme options and the header section, but then it's going to show on every page. So this is what's nice about this. If you are going to use these carousels or these sliders on every page of your website, then you don't have to use this plugin. But I would just recommend it if you're not going to have the code on every single page. So what we need to do, we need to click on here and we can select specific pages. So I'm going to select this option specific page. And then under page illustrator, we can select the page. So I'm going to use this page because I'm only going to have the gallery on that page. And you can select more than one page. So if you're only going to have it on a few pages, you can select the pages you want the code on. Right, then location, we're going to leave it as header. Device display, show all devices, we will leave as is. And status, we want to have it active. Then just in this big box here, we're just going to click in there and paste that link. Once we've done that, we can click the save button. Then I'm going to leave this tab open and I'm going to just right click here and open this add new snippet in another tab here because we're going to use this just now. What we're going to do is come back to the Codepen and we're going to copy the second script here. And let's go to that new tab we've opened. So for this snippet name, I'm going to name this SwiperJS. And then JS CDN. Again, you can name it whatever you want. I'm just naming it this. For snippet type, we're going to leave it as HTML. Again, I'm going to change this to a specific page. And it's for the SwiperJS thumbnail gallery page that I'm working on. Location, we're now going to change this to footer because we want our JavaScript scripts to load in the footer, not in the header. The device display, we're going to leave on show on all devices. Status, we're going to leave as active. And then just in our big block here, we're just going to paste that script. And then we can just click the save button. Don't forget to click the save button, otherwise your code's not going to save and your thumbnail's not going to work. Or your thumbnail gallery, I should say. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're now good to go and create our thumbnail gallery. So I've got a new tab open here and I've added this page and I'm just going to click on this option to use Divi Builder. Now, if you want to just use this in an existing page that you already have, just go to that page and create a new section. So I've been given these three options. I'm going to build from scratch. So I'm going to select that option. So I'm going to select a one column row. And in the row, we are going to put in an image module. So I'm going to search image and select the image module. Right. I think before we start working on all this, let's start adding some classes. So what you can do is if you come to the SwiperJS website, so you'll see there, I'll actually leave a link to this whole page in the description. So you can just click on it and it should bring you to this thumbs gallery. And then you could just click on core. And when you do that, it will open up this demo because we're going to need some classes in that from it. But I'll show you where to copy because you're going to copy from here as well as this Codepen. But if you don't want to open this, you don't have to. I'll just show you what you need to type in as well. So let's just go back to our page we're working on in the builder. And let's start with the row settings. So let's click in the row settings. Let's come to the design tab. And let's click on sizing. And then for use custom gutter width, let's select yes. And we're going to bring the slider all the way to 1. Then if we come over to the Swiper demo, we're going to need this class of just Swiper. Don't worry about my Swiper 2. And while I'm actually, let me just say this out now. If you guys use more than one gallery on a page, you need to change. So Swiper will always be default, but the second class, in this case, they're using my Swiper 2. You can't have the same as another gallery on the same page. Otherwise, your galleries aren't going to work. So you need to always change your classes, in this case, my Swiper 2, and your variables. And your variables, if I go to the Codepen, where you've got var, and then you've got this name. This is a variable that you're naming. So you can't have two thumbnails. You'll have to name like one thumbnail 1 and the other thumbnail 2. And if you have a third gallery, thumbnail 3. So your variables, which is that one and that one there, you cannot have the same on multiple galleries. So just remember that, as well as these classes. Those two and the actual previous and next buttons, they need to be unique. So if you're going to put multiple galleries on the same page, please remember different variable names, which so it's at var, and that is the variable name there, and then different classes over here. So you change that all there. And then just remember, if it must all match. So if you see, I have thumbnails there and thumbnails there. So that and that has to match. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, but back onto the thing we're building. So let's come here. We need to grab the first class of Swiper. Let's copy that. If you're not on this page and you're just going to type it out, that's the spelling there. And then let's go back to our page builder and let's come to advanced. Let's go to CSS ID and classes, and under CSS class, let's right click and paste Swiper in there. Then we're going to need another class, and that we're going to get from the Codepen. So we're going to grab this class here, dg-main-image. Do not grab the dot, just the words and the hyphens. Let's copy that. Let's go back to our builder and let's just put a space after Swiper and paste in our other class. So you must have a space there. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So you have the two classes. One is Swiper and the other is dg-main-img. So that's all we need to do for the row. But now let's go back to content in the row settings and let's click on column. Then let's come to advanced and CSS ID and classes. And what we're going to do, we're going to come back to the demo in SwiperJS, and we need this other class now called Swiper Wrapper. I'm going to copy this. If you copy from here, don't copy the quotation marks, just what's in between the quotation marks. And if you're typing it out directly, just that's how you have to do it, Swiper-Wrapper. And let's go back to the folder and under CSS class, let's paste that in there. So that's all we need for that column. Let's just click on this back arrow. We're actually going to need another column. So what I would just do for now is just duplicate this column. Actually, let's not duplicate the column because we got that class in there. Let's just add a new column. And what will happen is this will get smaller, but let me explain now what we're going to do with that column. That column is going to hold our arrows, and it's going to look all ugly right now, but we will fix it all with some code a bit later. So let's just have that like that. Then actually, while we're working in this row, let's go back to the Codepen. You'll see over here, I've got your column 1 and 2 settings, advanced tab, custom CSS main element. So this is just basically saying this piece of code here. So the gray or the dark gray is like just a comment. So don't copy and paste that. You just want to take the actual code that's in the colors. Yeah. So you'll see it's got this yellow and orange color and the yellow and white. That's just the code. The gray, you don't have to copy and paste. So let's take the width 100% important and copy that. And as you can see, it must go in column 1 and column 2. So let's go back to the builder. I think this is column 2 we're busy in. So let's click on the advanced tab. Let's come to custom CSS, then module elements. And then in main element, we're going to paste that in there. And you'll see something's happened here. So what happened is that second column has moved now down underneath the first column. But what we can do, you don't actually need to go and back and copy and paste and that. What you can just do now is hover over main element, click on these 3 dots, and just say extend main element. Then you'll see there's a code there. And we want to say to all columns and in this row. If we extend, now you'll see our image has gotten larger as well. Okay, I think that's all we're going to do for now. I don't want to get ahead of myself by adding code and you seeing nothing happen. So as we do things, we'll add the rest of the code. So I think we are done there. So we can just close that and close the row. And now let's deal with the image. Let's click in the image settings. And if we come back to the Swiper demo, we need to give all the images this class of Swiper slide. So let's copy that. And again, if you are not copying and just going to write it out, just pause it here and just get the spelling right. So it's Swiper-slide. Then let's go back to the page builder. Let's click on the advanced tab. Let's go to CSS ID and classes, and under class, let's paste that class in. There we go. Then what we can do is we can go back to the content tab, then click on the image section, and we can start adding our images. So I'm going to click in there. And I should have some images here. And I'm just going to quickly load these images. So what I'm going to do is once I've loaded that image, I'm just going to save that. Then I'm going to duplicate this 8 times because I have 8 images. You can duplicate this as many times as you need for how many images you have. Okay, so I think I have duplicated that 8 times, and you'll see the images are going across, so they're going off the page here. But now it's disappeared, but they actually are sitting behind one another. So, but I'll show you that on the front end once I'm done here. So I'm just going to quickly swap these images out, and because your images are going to be displayed horizontally, you're going to have to use the layer panel. So just click on this icon here, and it'll bring up the layer panel, and then just click down, and it's in the first column here. Here's all the images I've added. So I'm going to quickly change all these other images out, and then I'll be back with you. Right, so I've added my last image, so I can click save there. And I've just opened this on the front end now, and you'll see that it's only showing the one image, and all the other images are now sitting behind this image. And that's because we've added those scripts in the beginning and that's why it's done all this, because SwiperJS is now working. So the next thing we're going to do before we start maybe working in this column, let's duplicate this row because we need another set of these images that is going to act as our thumbnails. So I'm going to duplicate this row, and it will appear at the bottom here. And just in the second row, the row we've just duplicated, we can delete the second column. We don't need the second column. So let's just delete that one. And we can come into this column and just come to advanced, custom CSS, module elements, and we can take this out. We don't need that. Okay, perfect. So we've got all that done now. So if we just come up here to the CSS ID classes, we just need to make sure that everything needs to remain the same. So we've worked with this section, the first set of images. Here's the second set of images. So I think let's start with the row. So the row, we need to have Swiper, which we already have from the first row because we duplicated that row. And then we need to have another class. They're using my Swiper here, but if we go to the Codepen, I'm using this class of DG-thumbnail. So let's copy that. And then let's go to the back to the builder, and let's click on this back button. Let's go to that. So now we're in the row settings. Let's go to the advanced tab, to CSS ID and classes, and we're going to take DG main image out and paste in our new class of DG-thumbnails. Just remember that there must be a space between Swiper and our class of DG-thumbnails. Alright, so then let's go to content. Let's click in the column settings. Let's go to the advanced tab and let's click on CSS ID and classes. If we go back to the demo, you'll see the next class we need is Swiper Wrapper. So if we look at our builder, we already have that class in there because it came from the first row we had. And then the next class we need is all our images need Swiper Slider. But again, if you remember, I'm just going to go into one of the images here. If you remember from the first set of images we did, we've already added that class. So Swiper Slide is in there already. Okay, great. So let's save that. And let's now add our arrow. So your website should look like something like this for now, but don't worry, we're going to get it all working shortly with the code we're going to copy and paste. What we want to do is you want to now come to the first row that we created and the second column. So if I open the second column, you'll see there's nothing there. It says add new module. So let's do that. Let's add a new module. And the module we're going to insert in here is the icon module. So let's type in icon and let's select that. And you'll see it's over here. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to use the arrow icon. You can use whichever arrow icons you want to. So this one's going to be the left arrow. So I'm going to use that one. And I'm not going to do the styling yet. We'll do the styling a bit later. I just want to get these arrows done. Then what we're going to do is come back to our Codepen, and we need the class of DG-thumbnail-swiper-button-previous or prev. So it's not this first one, the second one. Let's copy that because this is going to be for our previous previous arrow. So let's copy that. Let's go back to the front end builder and let's come to the advanced CSS ID and classes, and let's just under CSS class paste that in there. Then let's duplicate this icon and let's go into those settings, and this is going to be the right arrow. Then I'm going to use that one there. And then come back to the Codepen and let's grab the other, which is the next arrow. So it's the one just above that. Let's copy that. Guys, just again, remember not to copy the quotation marks or the dot, just the words and hyphens. Let's go back there. Let's go to advanced CSS ID and classes. And let's replace this class with our class for next. So we'll do styling now. I just want to get everything working and then I'll show you how to style everything. So I think we're done with that. We can save that. And let's go back to the column that our icons are sitting in. So it's this column here. You'll see the two icons there. Let's just click in those settings. I'm just going to move this down a bit. So what we want to do here, we want to get these icons in line with one another and we want to move it above our image. So it looks like this over here. So you'll see I've got it like that over there. So in order to do that, in the column settings, we can come to advanced, come to the custom CSS, and let's click on module elements. And let's go to the Codepen, and you'll see here I've got your column 2 settings, advanced tab, custom CSS, main element. Let's just copy the code of display flex and justify content space in between. Let's go back to the builder and just under where we've got the width here, just click enter or press enter and paste that code in there. And now you'll see, let me just move this, that now it's in line and they spaced on opposite ends. Now we need to bring this over the image. So what we're going to do is just come to position, set the position to absolute. Now you'll see it's jumped to the top over there. And we're just going to bring it into the center. So if you just click center there, you'll see it goes into the center of the image. So let us save this and let's see if everything, no, it won't be working yet, but let us save anyway. Save your page. And then let's go back to the Codepen. And what I want to do is, let's first take, don't worry about this code yet, we'll get to this. Let's take all the code from the opening style tag to the closing style tag. Let's copy that. Then let's come back to our HFCM snippet, specifically the CSS one. And under the script that we pasted there, let's just click enter twice. And let's paste our CSS in there. And then let's click update. And while that's updating, let's go back to the Codepen. And now let's copy all our JavaScript. So from the opening script tag to the closing script tag, let's copy that. And now we're going to come to the other snippet, and this is the JS snippet, not the CSS, but the JS. And then under that script tag, let's just push enter a couple of times and paste in our JavaScript. And let's click update there. Okay, so that's updated. So let's go to the front end. And this is not in the builder. This is the other page I've opened. I'm just going to refresh the page. And you'll now see that everything is basically styled how it has to be. If we click on the images, it changes. This is also draggable, so you can drag and carry on clicking. And then your arrows are also working. So we've got the thumbnail gallery working. All I would do now is style this, and we just have to look at a few stylings for mobile as well. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's style these arrows. It's a bit big, and like I don't like the color. So you'll see on this one, what I did is just put like a black background, and I made it white. And then when you hover, it's set. There's an opacity on it now, but when you hover over it, the opacity is back to normal. So to do that, what we can do is, let's lift this up a bit. Let's come to the icon. So I'm going to click on the first icon. And let's give it a background color here. And I'm going to just use black. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, over background, just right click. I'm going to say extend background styles. I'm going to leave it to all icons. And I'm going to say in this column. And then click extend. And we'll add a black background there as well. Then let's go to the design tab. Let's click on the icon. And the icon color, I want to be white, but I want it to have an opacity of, let's say, 60%. So I'm just going to make it 60%. And then I'm going to click on the, let me just check that, this will save that. I'm going to click on the hover icon. Click on the hover state. And just make this white. So you'll see it's white now. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on the icon color. And I'm going to say extend icon color to all icons on throughout this column. And then let's click extend. And that now should change as well. Then for icon size, I'm going to make this 50 pixels just to make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to just go to a tablet. And for tablet, I'm going to make this 30 pixels. And then I'm going to click on phone. And guys, you can make this whatever size you want. I'm just doing this because I think it looks better. So let me move that out the way. And then for phone, I'm going to make it 16 pixels. Okay, so then I'm going to right click on icon size. I'm going to say extend icon size to all icons throughout this column. And extend that, and it should do that to the columns. Then I'm just going to make sure it's correct, that it's equal size on tablet, and then an equal size on desktop. Okay, so let me just move this out the way again. Right, then what I'm going to do is the next thing is come to spacing for the icons. I'm going to set the margins to 0 for top, bottom, and left and right. And that's just because on mobile, it pushes to the center because the margin becomes auto. But so just set all the margins to 0. And then for padding, I'm going to put 10 pixels top and bottom and 10 pixels left and right. Now, for padding, you can do whatever you feel is, pleasing for your visitors or pleasing for you. But margin must all be 0. So yeah, padding, you can do whatever you want. Margin, you have to make all 0. Then I'm just going to change this also on tablet and desktop. So for tablet, I'm going to make this 8 pixels all around. And then on phone, I'm going to make it 5 pixels all around. And then just right click on the padding and then select extend padding. Then it'll be all icons throughout this column. Then click extend. And that should make the same padding for all of that. Okay, then we can go back to desktop. The next thing we do when we hover over these, we want the cursor to be a pointer. So if you come to the Codepen, so just the code above the style tags, we can just copy that. So it's just the one that says cursor pointer. Let's go back to the builder. Let's click on the advanced tab. Let's click on custom CSS and go to module element. And then under the main element, we can just paste that in there. Let me try that again. Did I not copy it? I don't know why I didn't paste. And then for main element, just hover over it and click on these 3 dots. And then select the option extend main element. And it'll be all icons throughout this column. Click extend. And then we can save that. And then let's go to the front end. And let's refresh the page. And there's our arrows. So now if we click on them, you'll see that it all moves and works nicely. Obviously, I only have 8 images, so I can't go anymore, and then I can go back. So that's all working, and the styling's looking good. And again, you can click on these thumbnails, you can drag them, and click on them, and so on. Okay, so let's have a look at tablet and mobile quickly. So I'm just going to right-click and inspect. And then I'm just going to put it on a phone. So you'll see our arrow is not working lacquer there. Sorry, lacquer. That's a South African word. I shouldn't have said that. It's not working properly there. So what we need to do, and I know why, because when we were working on the first icon, if you remember, we came to spacing and we made this all 0. I didn't right click and extend the margin. So just right click, extend margin, all icons in this column. Click extend and click save. And then let's make sure that that has worked. I'm going to refresh it on the front end. Okay, now you'll see it's on the edges again. And now you'll see the spacing between our main big image and our thumbnails. There is no space basically. And that's because if you remember in the beginning, we set the gutter width to 1. So let's just go back into that row. Let's go to design and sizing. So there you'll see we set it to 1, but now we can't change it on phone yet. There's no option. So all we need to do is come down to spacing and just put in there a margin bottom of, sorry, this is specifically for tablet. So let's just click on the mobile phone. Let's click on tablet. Well, it's for tablet and phone. So let's put in 30 and then let's save. And sorry guys, you can put whatever size you want there. I'm just putting 30 because I think that's the standard Divi size anyway, but you can put any size in there you want. So I'm just going to refresh this page, and you'll see now we have a gap. So this works on phone as well. You can see you can scroll through, and this is also draggable. And let's just go to a tablet. Let's make this a bit bigger. And there it's on tablet as well. So the reason I made the arrows smaller and the padding less is because it just looked too big on tablet and mobile. But play around with it yourselves and see what works best for you. But there we are done with the thumbnail gallery. So guys, I just want to thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped you a lot. If you need help, if something's not working, please leave a comment, or you can send me an email. You'll find my email address in the description. And then if you guys did enjoy this video, please can I ask you a huge favor? Please like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, and if you love Divi and you love working in Divi, I'm going to try be more consistent this year. I'm going to try to release more videos this year, especially for building websites. And also tutorials like this where you don't want to really install or buy a plugin. Leave suggestions in the comments for me, and I'll have a look at it, and if I can do it, I will release a video on it. And then if you are interested in any other Divi tutorials that I have, I'll put a card that should pop up now. Click on there, go through those tutorials and see if any will help you. And then if any of you don't have the time to build your own website or maybe code some certain things in that, I have left a link to my website in the description. So you can click on there, you can book a call with me. It's a free call and we can discuss everything and maybe we can work together. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you. I will see you soon. Hopefully, sooner than a month or two. I'm going to try my best to release a video at least every week. Try my best, but I'm not going to promise anything because it does depend how busy I get. Anyway, have a good one. I'll see you soon. Cheers.